Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is Posh with Royal Pets. You're watching Goin Places with Rick Rollins.
Thanks, Sarah and Posh. I'm Rick Rollins, and this is Goin Places. I hope your morning's amazing. Here's what's coming up on today's show.
Lauren Gay's back, and she's sharing with us some of the places that she thinks we should see if we want to know more about Florida's Black history. Dr. Nabuki's back, and we're talking about dental hygiene for our pets. Kimberly Boatwright from One Church, One Child is back to talk with us about adoption and foster families. We'll be crafting with Karima. She'll share a Black history lesson, and we'll find out her favorite book of the week. We'll begin part one of our conversation with Primo Partners CEO Antonio McBroom, and we'll talk about how he and his partners are making history in the Ben & Jerry franchise, including the one right here in Midtown.
All of this and more, starting right now.
Lauren Gay is back, and she is going to take us to a part of Florida's history. Not just history, but Black history. Something that is crucial to the whole construct of why our state is as great as it is. Welcome back, Lauren. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm great. Happy to be back, Greg.
Okay. And you look lovely in red, I might add.
Thank you.
So let's jump in. So what I think a lot of people don't understand, especially people who've moved to the area recently, that there's a lot of history that is really deeply rooted in the African American and the Black and brown culture of our state. And I mean, even in our city, I mean, with Perry Harvey Park and that whole Central Avenue construct, but there are other places. I mean, people may know about that part, but there are other parts of this that are bigger pieces to the puzzle. And so I hear you're going to share that with us this morning.
Yes, I will. So I had the privilege when I visited Amelia Island to go on this wonderful tour with a man named Ron Miller. And Ron used to come to the island every year with his family to recreate at a place called American Beach. So American Beach was actually a Black beach, Black beach community, not just the beach itself, but the surrounding properties. These were Black owned properties. And this was bought by A.O. Lewis, who was the first Black millionaire in Florida. It was actually known as that because you'd have people coming from the Carolinas, Georgia, Alabama, down to Florida. You had performers coming like Cap Calloway, Louis Armstrong, all these different people, because as you know, at that time, before the civil rights movement, Black people did not have a place where we were allowed to recreate and to recreate safely. So we came together. It was A.O. Lewis and the Afro-American Life Insurance Company, who initially purchased about 33 acres of land. This is in the 30s. So this was in the 30s when they purchased this land initially, and over the course of some years, they actually were granted additional land from President Truman, and so they amassed over 200 acres of land that was theirs. This was prime beachfront property, and it went on for many years. And even today, there's still estimated it's dwindling, but there's estimated to be 75 to 80% of the homes in that area are still owned by the Black families.
Oh, wow. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
It is. It's really interesting history. And there was a very important woman who's a descendant of A.L. Lewis. I believe his great granddaughter. She's known as the Beach Lady. So she was a former opera singer in Europe. She came back to the United States, and it was her crusade to keep this land, to keep it in the Black community, to not let it be encroached on. Because as we know throughout history, once we have something that was at one time deemed undesirable, suddenly it's desirable. So you had these different resorts and hotels encroaching into their land and into those boundaries. And so she fought very hard to keep that land recognized and make sure that it became, this historically recognized place. So the highest sand dune in Florida is now called Nana Dune, and it is actually named for her, for the Beach Lady.
Oh wow, that is so interesting. So now there is also the American Beach Museum.
There is an American Beach Museum. Unfortunately, when I was there, they had not reopened yet
Okay.
from COVID, but it is now reopened, and that is something that you can also do on your own or through the tour. The cool thing about the tour is that it's going to take you to other places. You'll learn about Franklin Town, which was it used to be a town for formerly enslaved people right after the Civil War, and that's actually the area where American Beach is. You'll also see other parts of Amelia Island where enslaved people were initially brought in. And there's a new placard they have there to acknowledge that and pay homage to those lives. And then just a short drive away is the Kingsley Plantation, which is actually a national park site. Now, I don't usually include plantations when I'm talking about celebrating Black history, but in this case, I make an exception because the history is fascinating. Anna Jai Kingsley was a Senegalese princess who was enslaved at one point in the Caribbean. Kingsley, the plantation owner, actually freed her and married her and brought her back to Florida. And he died. And when he died, he actually left his land and the inhabitants, the enslaved, everything, the crops, the sugar cane, he left all of that to her. And
Mm,
so at that time, that was unheard of for her to be able to keep that land. But
right.
she went to court and she fought and she did, and she won her case. And she
Wow.
kept that plantation running and functioning. I know it's a hard concept to wrap around, right, with her being of African descent. But remember, at this time, her being West African and a princess, you
Mhm.
know, there was a form of slavery and things like that back then. So I think it was more par for the course and it was the business of the times. So she did what she needed to do to keep her business going.
Wow. Wow. She said, "You ain't taking what's mine." I love it. I love it. I think that alone, that like you said, it is noteworthy because she was willing to fight for what was hers. Oftentimes we had to just raise our hands and walk away. And she said, "I'm not going to do that." Okay. So Lauren,
Yeah.
I thank you for sharing with us this morning. Any last tidbits? When should we do this?
I mean year round we're lucky because it's Florida, so I mean the weather is always pretty good. The day that I went, it was actually quite cloudy and overcast, but it's a beautiful stretch of beach. It really is, and it's one of the beaches, the few beaches in Florida you can still drive on. Unfortunately, not for the public. You have to have the resident card for
Okay.
specific counties. But if you go on the tour with Ron Miller, then you are actually able to drive with him and he'll drive you on the beach. You can get out and walk around. But it is a public beach and there's beach parking. You can go to Bernie Park, is a famous park where they used to have a lot of the gatherings. You can
Mhm.
park there and get access to the beach that way.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's you know what, Lauren. Every time I talk to you, there's something new that I learn about Florida and I need to do. And after all, the show is called Going Places, so maybe it's time for me to room and get ready to go. I appreciate your being here. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have an amazing morning, and we'll see you soon.
When we come back, we'll talk with Dr. Nabuki, our pet vet, about Pet Dental Month.
When Going Places returns right after this.
You know who he is. You know him because he's Dr. Nabuki, and our pet vet is back. And this is Posh. just the most adorable
Maltese.
that you ever wanted to see. So this month is Dental Hygiene Month.
Yes, it is.
For dogs, cats, pets in
Yep.
general.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So when somebody thinks of dental hygiene for themselves, I know what we think of. Is it the same thing for pets and animals?
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Dental disease is actually the #1 disease in pets.
Really?
It really is, yeah. And that really is, that's tartar, that's bacteria in your mouth, and it can lead to a lot of issues in their entire body.
So here's a question. I know that dental hygiene or improper dental hygiene can lead to heart disease in humans.
Yep.
Can it do the same thing with animals as well?
Yes, it can. Great
Wow.
question. Great
Wow.
question.
Okay.
It can lead to heart plaques. It can lead to liver disease.
Okay.
It can lead to kidney disease. It can also lead to blood infections because that's all bacteria in the bloodstream.
Okay. So when we start thinking and talking about dental hygiene, let's talk about what's necessary to keep our pets healthy.
So prevention is key.
Okay.
Just like with most medicine,
Mhm.
prevention is key. So with dentals, you can actually help their teeth by doing it daily. You can do water additives, you can do teeth brushing, and you can do dental chews as well. Well, here we have Fresh Breath for kitty cats. We also have it for dogs too. This is a product that's exactly like mouthwash that you can put in their bowl
Okay.
daily and they can drink it.
Okay.
And this helps to kill bacteria. The other product that we have are dental chews. One such product is Greenies. These are really, really cool, and they're shaped like little toothbrushes. But actually, the dogs and the cats can eat them, and again, it helps with tartar on their teeth.
Okay.
Friction, everything, chewing on
wow.
toys, stuff like that, it all helps with the bacteria.
Wow, okay, that's important to know. And last but not least,
Yeah.
we all know what that is.
So this is toothbrush and doggy toothpaste. So this is actually the most important out of the three, but the hardest to do, okay? You tell me how many dogs or cats want you in their mouth with your fingers or with the toothbrush cleaning their teeth. Not very many.
But it's important.
It's super important.
Okay.
And so I always tell people, start at a young age, okay? They usually will accept it at a younger age. Once they're older, they're sort of, gonna fight it a little bit, but start as young as you can. And again, there are finger brushes, and there's the actual toothbrush, and it's doggy toothpaste. Do not use human toothpaste. Don't do that.
Okay, well that does make sense. Now, that brings up an interesting point. So we're brushing, so that's teeth brushing. Dental hygiene,
Yes.
same thing? Teeth cleaning versus
Teeth cleaning.
Okay.
Yeah. So they are different. Okay.
Okay.
So a lot of people, they'll do it at home with the teeth brushing, or they'll go to their groomer and get a teeth brushing, and that's what we refer to as a light teeth brushing.
Okay.
What we refer to as like a dental hygiene cleaning or
Is
a
that
dental
like a
cleaning.
deep clean for adults?
That's a deep clean.
Okay.
So that is with pets. That's where we do blood work. We sedate them so they're under anesthesia.
Okay.
And we clean their teeth. And we do dental x-rays as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
we can look
Okay.
at their bones and everything, make sure they don't have any cavities or any pockets. And then we can clean their teeth and wake them up knowing that we've done as much as we can for their teeth.
So I think the more that I talk to you, the more I realize how much more human our pets are, because there's so many things that we do that they have to have done as well.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
Oh yeah. So what I tell people is, usually it starts with the examination. So I always say, go see your vet, let them assess your babies. They'll look at their teeth, look at their whole body, and they'll communicate to you your needs for those teeth. Some of them it's mild tartar, some of it's moderate, some of it's severe, and sometimes I even see teeth that are falling out.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. And so what I do is I encourage them, I'm like, hey, start with these at-home products, the dental chews, the water additives, and the teeth brushing kits. But also, let's go ahead and get you scheduled for a dental cleaning, okay? Most pets will need a dental cleaning at least once a year.
Once a year.
At about 2 years of age and older.
I was going to ask,
okay?
that was my next question. How?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the warning signs that maybe your pet has some periodontal disease or there's some dental issue?
So a lot of people think if the teeth are bad, they're going to be in pain or discomfort. And they are, but they don't show it the same way that we do. They're not going to be crying or sort of wincing. What you'll see is sometimes they'll drop food,
Okay.
but the main symptom is really bad breath. okay? Because that bad breath
Okay.
is from the bacteria.
Okay.
So that's like the number one thing. That's why I'm like, if they smell bad, take a look in there, have your doctor take a look so we can see if there's any issues with it and then go from there.
Okay. So one last piece of advice for that pet parent that says, I haven't been doing this. Is it too late?
Never too late. Never too late. Get started, talk with your vet. They will help you. They'll recommend certain products, and then also, again, get you scheduled for the dental cleaning and get your baby taken care of.
Okay. So you've got an event coming up today.
We actually have, because it's Pet Dental Month,
Okay.
we actually have a showcase of where, if you come to our store locations, they're going to be showing how to do some of the teeth brushing.
Wow. Okay.
Also, they're going to be showing you some of the products that we recommend daily to do at home. And so come on by for that, and we can show you how it's done.
Okay, so here's the information one more time. So if you want more information about this event or Royal Pets, all you have to do is go right here to the QR code, and we'll be back with more Going Places right after this. Thank you, Posh. Thank you, Dr. Dubuki.
Always a pleasure.
Lisa Tea Talks. Enjoy life one cup at a time.
Welcome back to this edition of Going Places. We're going crafting with Karima. Take it away, Karima.
Thanks, Rick. Today we are making this ice cream craft in honor of Black History Month. It represents Augustus Jackson, who was known as the father of ice cream.
You'll need cup, fork, glue stick, paper plate, brown and white cardstock, paint, and a paintbrush. Start by using scissors to cut a triangle from brown cardstock. Then glue the triangle to the bottom of white cardstock. Now it's time to add paint to your paper plate. Then you'll dip the rim of the cup in the paint, then stamp above the cone. You'll have to make sure to turn it around a little bit just to make sure all the paint is on the paper. Repeat the previous step with the second color of paint. Add water to a small container, then dip the paintbrush in the water, then dab a little paint from the circle to create watercolor paint. You will do this for both circles to create your ice cream cone. Add brown paint to a paper plate, then dip the fork in the paint and create marks on the triangle to resemble an ice cream cone. Augustus Jackson, also known as the father of ice cream, invented a new and improved way to make ice cream. He was the first person to use salt to make the ice cream melt slower. His ice cream making process was sold to ice cream shops as well as ice cream carts. Because of this, he became one of the wealthiest Black people in Philadelphia.
I hope you had a great time crafting with me today. If you're looking for more craft ideas, make sure you visit my blog at craftingafunlife.com. I have a book in honor of Black History Month, Black Heroes, 51 Inspiring People from Ancient Africa to Modern Day USA. Back to you, Rick.
Great job as always, Karima. When we come back, we'll talk to one of the partners who's making an impact here and making history at Midtown with his Ben & Jerry's franchise right after this.
Hi, I'm Arlene. Welcome to Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. What's your coffee saying? Whether in for business or just getting away, let Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks be a part of your day. A place for you to come and share thoughts and spirit through a cup of coffee. Come and enjoy with us here at Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Enjoy life one cup at a time.
History is being made every single day in Midtown Tampa, especially at this Ben & Jerry's. Not only is it the first that's been in the Bay Area in over a decade, it's also the first that's owned by African Americans. Last year's opening of the brick-and-mortar Midtown location gave Primo Partners their 10th ice cream parlor across 6 states in the U.S., making them the largest franchise in the Ben & Jerry organization. Their commitment to growth and expansion was more than articulated with the opening of the Midtown location. That did not go unnoticed. Both Mayor Jane Castor and Ben & Jerry themselves attended the grand opening. Primo Partners describes itself as a unique tribe of Black entrepreneurs. Those entrepreneurs are Antonio McBroom, Eric Taylor, and Philip Scotton. Recently, I had an opportunity to talk with Antonio about his success and making history in the Tampa Bay area. My first question, why ice cream?
I've always been an ice cream connoisseur. I mean, even growing up, I just loved any kind of packaged ice cream that you get when you go to a restaurant. So when I was going to college, I was at orientation. And I was walking down Franklin Street in Chapel Hill, and I saw this cool ice cream shop called Ben & Jerry's, and they had a now hiring sign up. So when I went in and applied, they told me that not only, it's a cool, fun place to work, but every shift that you work, you get a free milkshake. So I filled out that application extra carefully just to make sure I got that initial job. And I started as a scooper back close to 20 years ago.
Wow. So when you decided that Ben & Jerry's was going to be your life, what was the purpose for you? Because some people just work to live, and then some people create a career and leave a legacy. Why did you decide that this was where you needed to be and you wanted to be an owner?
Well, Ben & Jerry's was always a special company. I mean, even when the company was founded in 1978, it had a 3-part mission statement, and this was before, a triple bottom line was a popular thing. And they always had, they were a company that had soul. And so for me, when I was working with the company, I didn't see a really low ceiling like oftentimes you experience as an African-American leader and business owner. And I felt like there was a ton of opportunity for me to be inside of this company and grow and impact change in my community.
So tell me about the company name. Why Primo Partners?
So Primo is actually a double entendre, right?
Okay.
So Primo in Spanish means cousins. And so my partners are actually my cousins. We're childhood cousins, and so that's one meaning. But also Primo in Black urban culture means creme de la creme, top shelf. And so we always felt like our partnership was something that, and the brands that we wanted to work with were just top shelf brands, best in the world.
And are they proving that they're the best of the best? From inception to date, McBroom, Taylor, and Scotton have taken over the southeast region of the United States with their scoop shops. Recently, Primo Partners became the first BIPOC-owned franchisee group to receive the Big O, the highest accolade a franchisee can receive in Ben & Jerry's 40-year history.
Partners and I have a fascinating journey of family and also of mentorship. So I call him my senior business partner, Eric Taylor. He's 4 years older than I am. And so we played football in high school together. He was a senior and I was a freshman. And he just took me under his wing and really mentored me about academics and how to be a scholar athlete. And from there, we just always had a great relationship. He's an engineer by trade, and so I'm kind of like a creative ideas guy. And so for our whole life, I've been the one that comes up with all these crazy ideas, and Eric's the type that like shuts most of them down. So when I had the opportunity to buy the first shop, I was 20 years old, and this was
Wait, cut. 20?
20 years old, yeah, I was 20 years old.
Wow.
This was my senior year of college, back in 2007, 2008, so kind of uncertain financial times. And so I called my partner, Eric, and I said, hey man, I got this crazy idea. that maybe we should buy this ice cream store that I'm working in. Eric said, look, you do come up with a lot of crazy ideas, but this isn't one of them, and if you do want a partner, I'd love to be in. So Eric was a few years older than me. He was already starting his engineering career, and neither one of us at that time had the exact requirements on our own to buy our own business. But when you put our partnership together, it was primo, and we were ready. He had established credit, and he had established income from being already an engineer. And for me, I had the management experience, and we put them together, and we were able to purchase that first shop back in May of 2008, 15 years ago.
We'll hear more of Antonio and Primo Partners' historic journey next week on Goin Places. Be sure to join us. We'll be back right after this.
Good morning. What is your coffee saying? My coffee today is saying serenity. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things that I can. And wisdom to know the difference. Enjoy life one cup at a time.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week on Goin Places. Until then, be blessed on your journey. Take care.